Hey guys, how's it guys? Hope you're doing well tonight. It's another cold Sunday night here in South Africa, probably across the board. So yeah, we've had a little 2-week stint, but myself and my trusted co-partner, co-host, Alec, we're back. How's it going?
Oh, good. Yeah, just had a little break because of Winterfest and not wanting to get involved or rather draw any attention away from them on their good weekend. So yeah, it was a good break, and yeah, I'm excited for this episode.
Yeah. As you guys can see, this time we're coming in big. We've added another screen because we in fact have two members of a killer local black metal band. Obviously, the guys that know you guys, but this is Spectral Realm. We've got Ryno, we've got Theo here, lead guitarist of Vocal Scowlings. So yeah, guys, awesome to have you guys here. Great to finally have you guys on the show, and congratulations on the new album, Spectral Witch of Hex River. It's out now if any of you guys want to go check it out on Bandcamp. But yeah, greetings, guys.
Guys, nice seeing you.
Great. So yeah, I guess kind of like delving straight into this, keeping it kind of chilled, what we've been doing with all of our guests is kind of getting a little bit of a rundown on how lockdown has been for you guys as a band. Obviously, like I said, you guys just put your new album out. So how things been in the Spectral Realm camp?
Well, I think there was a lot of positives, a lot of negatives, mainly negatives, can't jam together as often as you would like, no gigs, But I think the positive side of it was having the little bit of extra time to work on this album and actually getting it done. I think we've been busy with it about 3 years now. Finally got the time to put the final pieces together. We've been working pretty hard on it, and I think it came out all right. We're pretty happy with it.
Final product is sick. Production is epic, and like you say, it has been quite a long wait for this new offering, so pretty sure people will really appreciate what you guys have to offer. So yeah, things your side, Theo, how things been?
Well, things have been all right. I've been pretty fortunate during this time, but like Ryno said, it's quite sad not seeing your buddies and jamming with them or just hanging out. The extra time was great, because I have to commend Leon and Alan from Dreamlab for doing the sound, and that's where that bit of extra time helped a lot. Gave the guys some time. And, yeah, we're super stoked how the way it came out. We're very proud of it. Thank you.
It's awesome. Obviously, you guys, like Smith said, it's been taking a long time to kind of come into fruition, this release. But, the one thing that definitely stands out, we're in a market where there is not a lot of black metal, let alone any symphonic black metal outside of the realms of Joburg, so to speak. So you guys, obviously looking back at the whole process, even though we're in this lockdown period, I know people really will appreciate hearing new music from the camp. But were there any particular tracks that you guys were amped on playing live when you got together in a performance standpoint?
Yeah, actually we did play quite a few songs live already. So we gave the audience a bit of a teaser of what we are doing and how the music has changed over the years. So I think the songs Ambiguous Quest and Petals Reflecting Moonlight, they were always in the set list. So a lot of our fans already know these songs, and we're really proud of those songs.
Sweet.
If I can choose one of those favorite songs to play live, it would be Phantoms and Silhouettes. It's got a nice crunchy feel to it, and then it builds up to this climax. So when you have songs like that, you want to jam it live. You want to put on the theatrics and just give people a show, and you feed off that energy. So that's something that's irreplaceable. I really hope that things can go back to normal very soon.
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
damn it.
Really eager to do those songs.
Yeah, man. I mean, we miss you guys here in Cape Town. I mean, we got a little bit of taste of that darkness with Portraits of Flesh when they came down. But yeah, I'm sure there was a whole mini tour that probably would have encompassed Cape Town also to go with this album. So hopefully this lockdown and this whole quarantine thing can be put to rest so that you guys can get your asses over here and bring some of that darkness over to the Western Cape.
Sure, dude. We really miss playing that side. We've been there twice now. Every time we go there, the crowd's insane. They're really into the music. The same this side. We got a lot of good fans this side, really supporting this genre that we are playing. But I think there in Cape Town, it's like maybe it's just the weather that plays along, so it gives a little bit more of that mood.
Sweet. I think, let me take over from here for a little bit. Theo, you and Klein Brew Ryno, you grew up on metal together, and you've talked to me about like a little bit of like the prehistory to Spectral Realm, but I think it would be cool for you to be able to like give a little bit of that to like the audience of this. So maybe like just tell us a little bit of like the prehistory to Spectral Realm and like the early formative years of Spectral Realm.
Well, I rated the formation would have been since about 1989, 1990, when Ryno started walking, and I was very much into sports. So I said, here's a bat, here's a ball, and that bond grew from there. As we grew older, we were lucky enough to get tapes with Metallica and Slayer and Obituary. So that was our introduction to metal. When I heard that music, I was like, okay, this is something that I really want to do. But it took about 10 years of discovering music and after starting to play, and we played drums and guitar in the backyard, in the back room, and I painted logos on the wall. So it was basically just a hunger for that. Ryno excelled in guitar, and he wrote songs that was just so cool. It reminded me a lot of Old Man's Child. So I said, you have to pursue this. And the rest is history. So there's always been a passion towards doing stuff together. And it's nice having a sibling doing that. It's more than just a friend. It's actually a brother. And that's something that you cannot just get anywhere.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like Theo says, started from an early age. Him coming home from school with all these new tapes, Slayer and Metallica, Obituary and Fear Factory. I think the time when I first heard those growls and those gutturals, that was it for me, you know. Something more extreme than just the stuff that you hear on the radio and what you hear normally. I knew that this is something that I really wanted to do, and it's something that I love. And as you said, over the years we progressed, we listened to more music, different kind of music, different styles, started incorporating it in our own music, trying to write good songs, which only came much later, of course. But yeah, I think that was the foundation of the brotherhood of the band, putting it all together and always being together and listening to music together made it a little bit easier.
Cool. We have touched on the fact that it's like a long-awaited album. I wanted to know if you guys have gotten a lot of feedback from it yet, but also like, so maybe Ryno, if you can say tell me a little bit about like the feedback, and then and like the process of writing the album, and then after that, if Theo can talk us through like the concept, you know. So Ryno, hit it.
Cool. Yeah, no, I think the feedback so far has been pretty good. We've had a lot of people saying it's definitely a step up from the first album. So that's ultimately the goal, you know, to write better music and get better as a musician in all aspects. You know, it's not just playing; it's about writing the songs and the sound as well, which plays a big factor in what you're presenting to people. And I think Leon and Alan did a great job as always, and took this album to the next level. Musically, I think I started writing this album pretty much directly after the first album. It was about 2015, 16. Started putting songs together, putting ideas together. Started building, and then, you know, as you start recording, you want to add a little bit there, a little bit there, and doing it quite a few times, recording it a few times, and you realize, okay, it would sound better like this. Add a little bit of symphonics there, add a little bit more atmosphere. And I think in the end, all the time that we had spending on working on it made it a little bit better than what we expected.
Excellent. Theo?
Before I get into the concept, I need to touch on where that inspiration came from. Like when I said, we got into the American death metal and thrash metal. But when we discovered bands like Cradle, that the album Cruelty and the Beast was just such a killer concept. I've heard many concept albums over the years, but that one always stuck out. And I just thought how cool it would be to create a concept album. So that inspiration first came from that. Having a story that you tell through metal. And then the actual concept is something that just stayed with me since I was a little boy. We used to go down to Cape Town on the train, and there's this one specific part in the Western Cape when you go through the Hex Road, before the Dorms. Now, nowadays you have to go through the tunnel. In those days, yesterday I went over the pass. And I remember looking down from the pass, and just the nature, it was breathtaking. And then I heard the story of the Witch of the Hex Road. So it was something that you can relate to from a childhood's age when you hear the story, and it's like you have to look if there's really a ghost over the mountain. So that was the most natural story to tell if you're a South African and you like something a bit spiritual and ghostly. So that was the idea. And then when Ryno was working on the album so often, and we changed things all over a hell of a lot, that's when the vocals only came in. So there was already something cemented. We had shared the ideas, and just fitting it together with the music just came quite naturally.
Cool.
So I guess it kind of segues into kind of a question that I had for you as well, Theo, regarding lyricism. Obviously, if you think about Cape Town, when it comes to like the lyrics that are usually used, it's a lot more, I don't want to say, dare I say, like more party in terms of like the thrash metal or even the black and thrash and the death metal. But when you go over to Joburg, PE, the lyricism in a lot of the bands is a lot more darker and a lot more introspective, if you will. Do you feel like living kind of in the concrete jungle adds to the mystique and the motivation for the lyrics that you come up with?
Absolutely. I think everything that you create, you somehow get inspiration or energy or the need to create something as a release. So obviously that plays a big role in anybody's psyche. Everybody's got a different way of releasing stuff. Some might prefer sport, some might prefer playing games. And when it comes for me, drawing or designing or creating lyrics, it's just do like a mirror from what's going on in the world and in yourself, and you get it out. So if it brings out some darkness, because that's the whole point, it's supposed to be metal lyrics, and it's so definitely a bit more towards the ethereal than it is towards you know, the normal run-of-the-mill life.
Yes. Yeah.
So, and also I think choice of lyrics is also just a preference to and its taste. So obviously we've modeled and got inspiration from the Norwegian bands and a whole explosion of symphonic black metal right over to Poland and Russia. So you just had an extensive variety of bands doing that. So just copying that and getting your own sound was was key, and that's why you can bring out some dark.
There's definitely some of that smidged in throughout the album, but like you mentioned, there definitely seems to be a concept around this album, as for the previous one. Obviously, for anybody that's checking this, make sure to go check out A Dark Mindset and a Magical Presence on YouTube. It is an awesome video. Who came up with the idea of the artwork, by the way? The whole themology around like the mistress of like the lake type effect.
Well, I think Theo and I both came up with the idea of doing the concept of the Hex River. And then after that, I think it was more natural to come up with fantasy art. It's like the mirror image of good and evil and love and hate, you know. And I think that's a little bit more represented in the artwork, you know, done by Tumkick Illustrations. Been doing a few local bands as well. So we saw what he was doing, and we were really happy with the way he does things. And it was really easy talking to him about ideas and throwing it around and telling him, let's try this, let's try that. And immediately he picked up and he came up with the stuff that we wanted.
And it's translated. I think the music really translates with the imagery that you've tried to portray. So, I mean, obviously we're here in South Africa. The main aim would always be to manufacture some CDs, because that would always be the end game. But you know how the economy is, and, you know, supply and demand. But I'm sure you guys had some crazy ideas. Obviously, you guys have kind of directed a more golden yellow motif as opposed to the more like blue, green effect. Would there have been a new stage effect, like a new idea for the stage performance that you guys would have applied for the new album? Did you guys have anything in mind regarding the tours, like the imagery for the performance, etc.?
Yeah, that's always something that you think of when you bring out new music, is that you also have to have a bit of a mix-up in your live set. You have to see the differences between the albums, and when you play the live songs, what would you like to visually feel when you see it? So obviously there would have been a lot of extras added into the live show, and definitely just having the same color flow opposed to the previous album. So yeah, it's just a pity that it's not quite happening right now.
Damn it, kills me.
Cool. Ryno, you add quite a lot of like technical flair that's not necessarily like synonymous with black metal. Like, I know like you draw a lot of inspirations from a lot of, say, melodic death metal, some technical death metal. I was wondering if you could talk us through like who your favorite guitarists are and like who inspires you, and also maybe a little bit about your gear, right?
Cool. Yeah, no, I've been listening to a lot of melodic death metal, the Swedish scene, of course. The Arch Enemies, Decades, Entombed, Dismember, those kind of stuff. So yeah, I think that when we just started out the band, that was pretty much the idea, was just to have standard 2 guitars and bass and drums and having a very melodic sound. And only much later the keyboards and those things kind of came in. So I always saw myself more as a guitarist and wanted to do solos and add a little bit more technicality into the music, you know, being very inspired by bands like Necrophagist, The Faceless, a lot of technical bands. So in the music, I would like to add just hints here and there, not to take away too much from the atmosphere and the melodic side of it, but also to add a little bit of technicality and a little bit more extreme soloing, a little bit more of that, yeah.
Cool.
So I think inspirational-wise, it's hard to say, because for Spectral, I'd say guitar-wise, I've got guys like Ingrid Malmsteen, Steve Vai, Steve Morse, a lot of virtuoso guitarists, John Petrucci. But in general, for the sound that we are doing, I would say bands like Karak Angren and Covenant and Arcturus, they all play a big role in the sound of what Spectral Realm is.
You can get little hints of that, but obviously you guys bring a whole different, unique type of flavor. Also, the fact that, let's be honest, we're in South Africa. You don't. There's not a lot of guys that are really touching on the realms of serious tremolo picking 6-7 minute montage tales. You know, so you know you are waving the banner, waving the flag high. You know, in that sense. So
awesome. Thanks.
Thanks for those words. It's quite humbling. So what if we have to look at the new album and what we want to achieve with it is definitely have people take some time and just spend time with it and go through the lyrics and get the whole feel to it. I rate that's why also we had some more elaborate lyrics and not having your standard structures of songs, which is like the verse, chorus, verse, and go back to certain pieces. We wanted to have that nowhere you go back to the same lyric. It has to be new lyrics all the time. So that when you go through it, it does feel like a journey with chapters until you get to the end of the movie. It's what we would like to encourage, so people can get that whole eternal vibe from it. And it's quite difficult nowadays to do that with the audience because nobody actually, well, quite a few do, but get the album and just follow the lyrics and check the artwork for a whole week until you memorize the whole thing. It doesn't work that way anymore. It's just so much music, you can't do that. It's new music coming out all the time. So from that point of view, if we can achieve that, we'll be very happy.
yeah,
Cool. Seeing as though we've touched on like inspirational guitarists and for Ryno, Theo, vocalist wise, who like sort of inspires you from a vocal standpoint, be it like sound or lyrics, or who are your favorite metal vocalists at the moment?
Well, there's a few, but I must start off with Teragor from Karak Angren. I just think his lyrical style and the way it incorporates with the musical aspect. And even his live performances, he really nails exactly what he's doing, whether it's a new album or whether it's a live show. You have to have great respect for that. So that's number one. But also, people have been around for many years. Shagrath, Danny Fulf. It's people who really showed a professionalism in what they're doing. It's not just a band; it's a business.
mm-hmm.
So apart from their ability, it's also the way they have built their empires. It's not a lot that you see bands continuing for 20 odd years and still being able to create new music that really levels up with the modern music coming out. If I could, I would love to have clean vocals, but I'm just shady for that. But Vortex, Ishan, people who just bring both worlds in of clean vocals and black metal style death metal vocals. So there's a lot of people doing that with great vocals. So if I can practice hard, maybe I can get there.
You can do it.
Yes, we're rooting for
Alec
you. Come on.
Even Alec, yeah. I mean, that guy he can hold a note.
Well, actually, that's a perfect that's actually a perfect segue into my next question, because actually I wanted to ask Ryno. Obviously, you, like Alec, are a man of many talents. You've got a lot of other projects that you work on, but the most recent one being Forest Megiddo. So what? I did pronounce that right. Megiddo?
Megiddo, yeah. No.
Megiddo.
Sounds good. Megiddo, yeah.
You worked on a new single, which there's a lyric video that's also up on YouTube. we'll include that in the comments section. But it's called Portals from Within. And you actually had Alec do guest, clean, and a bit of rough lyrics on it. What was it like working with him since he's here and, you know?
Oh, it's always been awesome working with Alec. We've been working together for a few years now. Been doing the Abhorrent Anomaly project as well. So knowing Alec's ability and knowing what he can do for the song, and I thought he was the right guy for the song. Musically, it was about the lyrics that he came up with, and it was perfect, and it was without any doubt. I chose Alec for this song. It was pretty easy for me.
Gonna blush, man. Thank you. It was awesome working with you as well, and it always is.
Sure, dude.
Yeah, but it definitely had that track, especially. I guess it would show an even more extreme side to the symphonic element, like just taking it to the next level. Whereas Spectral Realm tends to be a little bit more, dare I say, more traditional black metal with the symphonic elements thrown in, like what I would incorporate, like a band like Emperor, you know, but like adding more the atmosphere, adding it as an atmosphere as opposed to like a Dimmer Borgia where it's like an actual riff that's being used in the music. So I think it's been something that's been able to give the Spectral Realm brand a lot of longevity, in my opinion, is the fact that your guys' tunes have, you know, a straightforward melody, straightforward sound that builds and builds, and you've got just that atmosphere in the background, and that gives it that timeless nature, you know. So I mean, I'm hoping in 10 years, 15 years from now, when you guys are celebrating your 25-year anniversary, you know, we'll be able to hear all of those classics from the first album again, and it'll sound just as beastly. So
Awesome. Yeah, no, for sure. We always try to do something different in the music. You know, it's not just a straightforward riff, like Theo said. It's a whole journey. It has to start. It's got a middle. It's got an end, and it all has to flow in its own way. Every song. It shouldn't be a formula where you go chorus, riff, chorus, pre-chorus, all those kind of things. It's whatever happens at the time. But I feel like that riff has to be there. It has to be there, and then working with the song and making it a complete song.
Yeah. And again, being an active band, not just necessarily two people putting your mind into it, like a lot of the other bands, it's all about being able to perform these tunes as well live in the best capacity that you can. So that's one thing that I think we can all agree that you guys have always taken very seriously, is being able to translate the music that you record onto the stage. So yeah.
Cool.
True that. Sorry, Alec, I just want to pause there for a bit. We've been very fortunate to have a settled lineup now, and to have the caliber of musicians in that. Everybody has been around the block for quite a long time. So playing with the people we're playing with, you know, it's just it clicked from the beginning. So there was this one trip we had down to Geraasplaas, 2015's end, or 2016's end. That's when the band had that long road trip for the first time. And when you get back, then you realize, you know, these are the people I want to play with for the rest of my life. So I really hope that can work out. That
you've been through some shit together. You've got the bond. It's like, yeah, you've seen stuff. It's like nobody would believe you. Life on the road.
Yeah. Awesome, guys. I just want to, because we're almost out of time, I just want to ask Ryno and Theo, is there anything you guys want to plug, anything you want to like promote for this album, shirts, merch, anything that you can think of? Just like the floor's open to you guys.
Yeah, I just want to say thanks to everybody that's been supporting Spectral Realm for all these years. been sticking around. You know, it's been one hell of a ride. We've been through a lot. I know everybody's been through a lot. Still supporting this kind of music. And we got this new album out, so hopefully everybody will check that out. It's on Bandcamp at the moment. We're still working on the printing and those kind of things. So just follow all the links and just keep up to date with what's happening in the spectral world.
Awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, well,
we would really like to see more people just leaving feedback and comments on it. It means a lot when you hear someone what if they like it, but not like it. Any feedback is good for the future. Also, like René said, in a very in the near future, we will be printing some CDs. We've got some good feedback. People want to have albums, which is good. Like I said, people generally just get stuff online, and it's YouTube. It's really easy to get music or to listen to music. So to hear that people want to have physical copies, that's good. That makes you feel like you can go to a music store and sell your stuff, and people would actually buy it and appreciate it. So it gives you that old school vibe. So check it out. We'll be getting it out in maybe the next 2 months or so.
Yeah.
Awesome.
We will definitely be helping punting it. And yeah, we'll be including all the links to all the new Spectral and all the Forest, Megiddo, vids, as well as their Teespring links where you can get their merchandise, as well as their Bandcamp where you can get their album for $8. It's 10 tracks, guys, $8. You go spend more than a round of beers with your mates when we're not in lockdown. Obviously not now because you can't do that. But yeah, guys, go support. You won't be disappointed. And again, Ryno, Theo, thank you so much for joining us. It's been awesome chatting to you guys, picking your brains a little bit. And we're looking forward to seeing you guys back on stage when all of this chaos in the world subsides.
Awesome. Thanks for having us, guys.
Thank you so much for having us, man.
Thanks very much, Alec.
Thanks, guys.
And yeah, hope you guys have an awesome rest of the Sunday, and we will catch you again next Sunday with a new guest. We have no idea who it is, but we'll wait and see, and we'll let you guys know. Have a great one, guys.